This is a time for every human being to build themselves into a higher possibility. If you get one problem, let's see how to handle that. Don't multiply it in your head. If you shift this focus, we will go through any kind of time. When time to act in the world becomes open, you will be in a great advantage. If you're committed to enhancing your life, lifestyle will happen.
Namaste, world raisers. Sabine and Roger here. Let's watch How Can We Stop Worrying About the Future? Chetan Bhagat asks Sadhguru. A request by Tathagata Ganguly.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the request. Can't wait for this. The future is something that we all worry about, anxiety and stress and uncertain times. So let's find out what the man, the myth, the legend has to say. And Chetan Bhagat, for those who don't know, he's the guy who wrote the novel that turned into the movie Three Idiots.
We watched this movie this year and we fell in love with it. We were laughing, we were crying. It was so good. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen. I fell in love with it, and I just loved it. And I just had to mention that here because if you have not watched it, it's actually on Netflix. So please watch it. It's so worth it. It's really, really good. Not exaggerated my thing here.
All is well.
All is well. Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
Very meaningful.
Yes.
And really enjoyable. I could talk about it for an hour. It's so good. But let's dive right into this one.
Chetan Bhagat.
Right now, there is just so much suffering that and you open the TV or the internet or everywhere. How does one cope? I mean, is it the same way, meditation and praying, or is it staying present, or your breath? The things you often talk about, are those things relevant? Is there something else people should do right now to just cope, and not lose hope? Young kids are telling me, we will never get a job. What is going to happen to my life? It's like, what would you say to such people?
See, one thing is, a whole lot of people in the world go about like they're immortal. Now, mortality is staring in your face like never before, probably. So this is one thing that's upsetting people. We need to understand, if we have to stay sensible, we must be consciously aware. Every moment of our life, if we are aware that we are mortal, we will organize and plan our lives and the little time that we have and the energy that we have in the best possible way. This idea that other people die, no, you and me will die. We want to complete our time and die, that's all. There's no such thing as we will not die. But everybody thinks other people die. No, you and me will die, that goes for everybody. We are all mortal creatures, we are all dying kind, all right? Now with the virus, it's staring in our face, but it was always staring in our face and we were missing the point. Having said that, this is not to be insensitive to the deaths that have happened, loss of dear ones, loss of economic losses, loss of jobs, everything. But we need to understand this. This is a time when mortality is so obvious to everybody. This is a time to understand our focus should be on the nature of our life and the quality of this life. Right now, most people's focus is on their lifestyle. So everybody's crying about the loss of lifestyle. I'm saying if you have life, it's good enough. Lifestyle is just of our times. If all of us were here 1,000 years ago, maybe all of us would be living in huts. Those people that you think in Mumbai are very poor, maybe we would be in same kind of squalor and we wouldn't mind, we thought it's fine, all right? So right now, somebody else is living in a better house, comparing myself to that person, now I suffer my home. This need not be so. Do not be committed to lifestyle. Your commitment should be to make this life as beautiful as possible. If you shift this focus, we will go through any kind of time. We must understand this compared to previous generations of people. There were world wars, there were famines, there were terrible events that happened in the world and including in India, all right? This generation, we have not seen anything like that. This is a bad one, but still it's a soft ball. If you behave responsibly, it is not going to hit you. However responsible you are, if a war is happening, bombs would, bullets and bombs would just kill you, it doesn't matter where you are. Today, unfortunately in India, we have this problem because I've been talking to so many people, I'm saying this. People think war means it happens on the border. No, it is happening on the border, it is happening on the border because a few brave men and women are standing there, and because of their efficiency, it is happening only on the border. If they don't stand there, it will be happening in Delhi. If our soldiers are not doing their job well, their soldiers, the enemy soldiers will be walking on the streets, all right? And you know all the terrible things that have happened with the past invasions. Don't forget that. I'm saying that way, as a generation of people, in terms of comforts and conveniences, no generation ever had these kind of comforts and conveniences. No generation had survival better organized than this generation. We just have to make sure nobody starves, that's all. Rest of it is only loss of lifestyle, don't make big fuss about it. This is a time for every human being to build themselves into a higher possibility, either in your competence, in your emotion, in your thought, in your experience of life, in your joyfulness, in your peacefulness, in every way, please use this time to upgrade yourself. When time to act in the world becomes open, you will be in a great advantage rather than sitting and crying. Right now, WHO is saying that it is not just this pandemic, there is going to be a mental pandemic and there's going to be a suicide pandemic. See, our problem is if we get one problem, we want to multiply it into many. No, if you get one problem, let's see how to handle that. Don't multiply it in your head. Yes, it is a serious issue, it's not a joke. Yes, there is tremendous losses for everybody, but focus on being committed to your life, not to your lifestyle. Then you will see everything will change in many ways. See, if you committed to a lifestyle without being committed to enhancing this life, inevitably, one way or the other, you will move into crime. Maybe crime outside of the law or crime within the law, but inevitably you will move into crime once you're committed to lifestyle. If you're committed to enhancing your life, lifestyle will happen according to our competence and in the times in which we live. See, we must understand our lifestyles are all not made by us. Our lifestyles are of the times. See, right now, in 23, 24 hours from India, I'm here in United States. If it was 100 years ago, coming to United States means probably 45, 50 days up and 45, 50 days down, all right? But people are saying this 22 hours of flight is too long. Repeatedly they're telling me, I said, what is too long? I'm glad it's only 22 hours. Otherwise,
No
people
doubt.
were, sitting on a steamship and going, before that on a sailboat, not even knowing whether they'll get there or not. So I'm saying we are having, as a generation of people, we have the best of everything. Never before humanity has had these kind of things. Now, if we commit to enhancing our life rather than just enhancing our lifestyles, we can become the best generation ever because our survival issues are largely settled. We must understand this. 300 years ago, if you want water in the morning, you had to walk down to the well or river or pond to carry 2 buckets of water. Today, how many young men and women are even capable of carrying 2 buckets of water a mile? Physically capable, they're not anymore.
Eesh.
I'm saying. So you open the tap, water comes, hot water comes, cold water comes, everything happens, and you're cribbing and cribbing and cribbing. Please don't crib. Use your life because whether you do something or not, whether you're joyful or miserable, whether you're making something out of yourself or nothing out of yourself, time is rolling away. Time is ticking away. You must understand that since you and me started talking, everybody who's listening and all of us, including you and me, are 47 minutes closer to our grave. If you think about it once in a way, it causes paranoia. But If you listen to the body, every beat in the body, it is clearly saying it is mortal, all right? Always it is reminding you it is mortal. If you are conscious every moment of your life, well, you wouldn't want to waste one moment doing something that doesn't mean anything to you. You would do only what truly matters to you. If all of us were doing only what genuinely matters to us, we will be living in a fantastic world, pandemic or no pandemic.
Oh, that was great. Wow.
Yeah, fantastic. So I love those teachings, and I love when Sadhguru talks about it. You know, the preciousness of, you know, this human lifetime, right? And focus on what's important, right? And distinguishing, you know, lifestyle from life. And I love it when he compares, you know, our generation to past generations. It's like, yeah, we just all feel so entitled, right? And then striving for, you know, the comparison of the people who have mansions and, you know, the multimillionaires and just living in the lap of luxury, and, you know, and we want that, and, you know, and then we strive for that, and it's just so filled with, you know, stress and worry and anxiety, you know, and then the suicide rates go up because we can't achieve our, you know, dreams. But what really matters, you know, what's really important, you know, is the quality of the inner experience, right? You know, like, yeah, in the past, you know, living in huts or living in caves or whatever the case may be, and, you know, and people were happy. People were able to be happy in those situations. But yeah, nowadays, and even the impatience, yeah, like even the internet being slow, and hey, I want to log on to this, and it's taken, if it takes a minute, you know, we'll freak out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we really got to practice the teachings. And yeah, and it looks like Sadhguru was advertising his book during this talk. Yeah, great question by the interviewer. So yeah, loved it. And if you haven't read his book, you know, get his book. We need to take in spiritual teachings and watch spiritual videos, and then put them into practice. So yeah, I just finished his book, and it is excellent. So yeah, if you ever want to know about karma, yeah, that's what it's about, and it's fantastic. Yeah, and just the wars throughout history, you know, that's, yeah, as much as it is in our state of human consciousness at this time in history, you know, wars, you know, they're part of life. They haven't gone away yet. So when he's talking about being able to manage the wars better, yeah, and keeping countries from invading, and you got the military and full force, you know, protecting the country. And so we have all these freedoms and security because, you know, that's happening, and we can't take it for granted. So even comparing that, you know, to the pandemic, being that, yeah, there's going to be strife and adversity and things are going to happen, but can you see it as an opportunity, right? Things get shut down and you can't do what you want. And he's saying, well, what about after? Like when this is over, are you going to be a better version of yourself? Yeah, so right when this time happened in the world, I was like, for me, I was like, holy cow, well, we need to do something. You know, what are we going to do as spiritual people? So I just spontaneously started this YouTube channel.
Yeah, right away.
I told Sabine, I'm like, you know, this is what we're doing right now. And she was on the other side of the planet. She was in Europe. You know, called her up, told her that, yeah, I started a YouTube channel because, you know, I need something to do, right? So even, yeah, taking
Oh yeah, because he got laid off. So
yeah, so spiritual teachings, you know, you can take it all in, but then we still need to, you know, express ourselves and do something positive and meaningful, and not just, you know, that's what manifested. So, and here we are. So now we get to continue watching spiritual videos and sharing with all of you.
yeah,
So,
and meeting you all, connecting with you all. And yeah, like Tony Robbins says, crisis creates opportunity. When I heard that, that really, wow, got me. Because yeah, it was a very, you know, unfortunate time the last year in like when it all started. I can't say that I was handling it very well for the first year until I actually came across Tony Robbins, and then, like really getting my shit together. And here I am listening now to the most incredible teachers, really, connecting with Sadhguru, and then really building a community. And it's fantastic what arose out of it. Like before, I actually think it was like a blessing for me personally. Actually, my mind has never been better in this lifetime, and I had great times, but I really got down on the cushion. We did the inner work, and wow, it's despite the outer circumstances, not being the most pleasant, my inner circumstances are extraordinary.
Yeah, fantastic. So the opportunity, and then that ties into the teachings of this rebirth is the most precious human opportunity. And even more so now, when we look at the external world, all sorts of negative things can be happening, but we have access to the Dharma.
Yeah.
We have access to the teachings, and we're living in a time when there's still teachers' teachings and teachings available. And, it wasn't always so, or and even with the internet and access to these teachings. But even if there was like an enlightened being on the planet somewhere, in the past, you still had no access to that, right? It's only because of the internet now that everything is open. You can study the origins of all, religions and how they arose, and the mysticism and the mystics and the enlightened beings that, were part of that. And then, you can study all of that and then really seek the answers, for yourselves, because it really needs to be done, right? Sadhguru is saying you got to go within. It's like the inner work is going to create the happiness and joy, that we all long for. And then always being aware of death. It's like, I love when he touches on death. It's like, we're all going to die, right? Death is going to happen. So what level or state of consciousness are you going to be at when you die? The teachings always stress that, your state at the time of death is crucially important. So we need to take advantage of these teachings and this time, do the work, and radiate that into the world,
Turn within.
Yeah.
Like really just turn within, Outside, not so important.
Spiritual, and then the more spiritual beings, that rise up to the higher levels, that benefits the whole. So very nice. So we're so grateful and thankful that we actually have people that are, subscribing and watching and joining us, because it means that, I'm just overjoyed, because it means that there's spiritual people out there and seekers and, people who want to practice and understand the truth, from whatever source. I think it's a really great time, because we're recognizing that, Sadhguru is great and he's absolutely fantastic. But am I going to say that he's the only way? No, because then that just limits everything. And he's not even saying that either. It's like we need to let go of our prejudices and our biases and be open to the teachings. So it's the teachings that are important, right? So, and of course, we can be grateful and thankful and humble and, even devoted to the teachers, but the teachings are primary. So what about you guys? Are you incorporating Sadhguru's teachings and other spiritual teachings into your life to enhance that aspect and that quality of your being? Or are you just focused on lifestyle? Let us know in the comments. So thank you so much for joining us. If you like this video as much as we did, hit that like button and leave an all is well down in the comments. Remember to subscribe. It really, really helps the channel. And remember, raise yourself
and raise this beautiful world. Thank you so much, everyone. And a very special thank you to all our members. We love you.
Peace.